Hello, this is Robert Allen, and in this video I'm going to share some of the reasons why some people are choosing to buy their Ormus from sacredsupplements.com. And we'll start with the ingredients. Water. As far as I know, Sacred Ormus is the only elixir on the market that's made with magnetically restructured oxygenated water. As you can see demonstrated in the tutorial section of this website, I use an ozone generator to flood the water with oxygen, which purifies it. And as proven by Dr. Emoto, we also have to clean our water energetically because water has a memory. For example, like ordinary bottled spring water or distilled water is considered unstructured because it travels all these great distances, making all these abrupt starts and stops and 90-degree turns through narrow pipes and all this stuff. And it breaks down the natural crystal-like structures of the water. And it's proven that unstructured water has far less absorption rate than structured water. So I think me using structured water increases the absorption rate, which increases the effectiveness of my Ormus. So I use restructured water for all the elixirs made at sacredsupplements.com, and that's one of the things that kind of separates me from the crowd, I guess. Salt. And based on my experience, authentic Dead Sea salt contains more ormic materials than any other base material used for making Ormus. And I very carefully selected the best kinds of salt that are suitable for each brand of Ormus that I create. And I used the Minera salt for the Logos because it was the cleanest and most healing salt I could find. And Bokek salt was selected for the making of Messiah Ormus because it's very high in ormic materials, and it also seems to be extremely easy to charge with energy. And the Chulo Langma Tibetan salt water used to create Magi Ormus, that was chosen for the same reason that Li Shixin, the father of traditional Chinese medicine, used it to create his elixir of life. It reportedly has more monoatomic gold, iridium, platinum, zinc, and silver elements than any other salt water in the world. And it's extremely susceptible to vibrational influence. So it makes for a very great base for making Ormus. Essential oils. Now I only use the oils on the Messiah and Magi elixirs, but I use frankincense and myrrh by Young Living Essential Oils, which are supposed to be top of the line, 100% pure medicinal grade oils. So using a syringe, I add 1 microdrop of essential oils to the Ormus during the final stage of production. And of course this tiny amount doesn't actually change the chemical composition or the appearance or taste of the Ormus or anything, but it does give the Ormus a very powerful and unique synergetic quality that greatly increases the effectiveness of taking Ormus. So there's another thing that kind of separates me from a lot of the Ormus producers out there. And speaking of production, the alchemical extraction of Ormus using the wet method seems simple on the surface, but to get the best Ormus, it really requires a great deal of practice, and you have to use precise instruments and proper timing and the appropriate environment and all these things, because Ormus is very susceptible to emotional and energetic or electrical energies, as well as astrological influences. So Sacred Ormus it's created in a sanitary, EMF-free environment, and it's always during the full or waning phase of the moon. And I believe the use of certain crystals and candles and music and plants and of course psychokinesis is what gives Sacred Ormus its supernatural qualities, so to speak. And I just want to mention this because I hear this a lot. Some people who make Ormus, they use vinegar to lower the pH if they go over the desired 10.78 threshold. But adding vinegar does not change the fact that the Ormus was damaged during production. So if the desired pH is exceeded during the production of Sacred Ormus, the entire batch is discarded. And if you're making Ormus for yourself, I recommend you do the same thing. And if you're buying it from here, you can rest assured that every drop of Sacred Ormus is alchemically created to perfection and supercharged with lots of love and chi and good intentions. So you can buy with confidence if you're buying your Ormus here at sacredsupplements.com. Storage, and I think this is worthy of mention because even the best Ormus can be degraded or destroyed by sunlight or EMF exposure. So Sacred Ormus is not only created in an EMF-free environment, but it's also stored in an EMF-free environment. And storing Ormus in a dark, peaceful place in the vicinity of things like gold and crystals, gemstones, and certain flowers and herbs can greatly increase the quality and longevity of the Ormus. So you may notice when you get your bottle of Ormus from Sacred Supplements, it might even smell good. And that's because it's stored in a metal container that's lined with like incense and potpourri, dried flowers and aromatic herbs and stuff from my garden. And I also place gold coins and crystals and a list of intentions written specifically, for each brand of Ormus. And this technique is proven to not only preserve, but I think it increases the quality of the Ormus. Purchasing a variety of safe, secure online payment options are available through PayPal. Just use the PayPal buttons to add products to your cart and proceed to checkout, or close the PayPal window if you want to continue shopping. Once you've completed your shopping, you can log into your PayPal account and pay as you wish, or you can check out as a guest using your credit or debit card. Pre-approved mail-in orders are also welcome, but I can't stress enough pre-approved. You have to send me an email first. So use the contact page above and just email me your full name, your mailing address, and the products you wish to order, and I'll reply within 24 hours with a quote and give you my mailing address. And the payments will either have to be money order or cashier's check for the exact amount made payable to Robert Allen in US dollars. Shipping. Okay, well, the avoidance of EMF exposure is of utmost importance when shipping Ormus. So each 4-ounce glass bottle is wrapped in 2 layers of heavy-duty aluminum foil, and all the parcels are well boxed. I used to be a shipping clerk, so I really know how to pack a box so your bottles won't break. And I use recycled packing materials like newspapers and shredded papers or packing peanuts or whatever I have on hand. And we use fast, reliable shipping, tracking, and insurance by U.S. Priority Mail. Shipments placed Monday through noon on Thursday typically ship either the same day or within 24 hours, but orders placed Thursday afternoon through Sunday will be shipped the following Monday. And the average delivery time in the U.S. is 3 business days. So you'll get your product fairly quickly. And if we're shipping outside the U.S., you need to use those text links next to the PayPal buttons, because my PayPal account is set up to not accept non-U.S. shipping addresses. Usage. Now, when you order from Sacred Supplements, you'll get a hard copy of instructions that kind of tell you how to store and use your products. But in essence, how, when, where, and why you take your Ormus can influence the effectiveness, because Ormus it's like half spirit and half mineral. So storing your Ormus, as mentioned before, and placing your intentions into the Ormus when you consume it can improve the effectiveness by as much as 50%. And doing things like a liver cleanse or a 24-hour water fast or other means of detoxification prior to starting your Ormus experience will speed the process along considerably. Avoiding EMF exposure and caffeinated drinks like coffee, tea, pop, and things like that for a few hours before and after taking Ormus also improves the effectiveness. So, like I said, you'll have more detailed written instructions included with your order, but those are some tips on the usage. Okay, so there you have it. Sorry that took so long, but if you're like me, you kind of like to know what you're getting into when you buy something online. So there are a few of the reasons you might choose to shop here at Sacred Supplements, and I'd recommend that you click out the About section above to learn more about Ormus in general, and be sure to visit the Testimonies page to see what other people are saying about Sacred Ormus, Soleil, and Silver products. Thanks for visiting SacredSupplements.com, the home of sacred gifts for the mind, body, and spirit. Good day, God bless, and namaste.